Kim here from Briese Lawyers, and with me on the couch today I've got Rachael from Drayton Villas. How are you, Rachael?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So Rachael and I were just talking about the community aspect of Drayton Villas, and in particular the impact of COVID. So obviously Drayton Villas is very much about community and like-minded people coming together and being quite social. You have a rec room, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your social room, which because of COVID, that had to get closed.
Correct, yeah. So the whole community centre had to close through COVID, which meant none of our activities and things were able to be done anymore. So, yeah, wasn't very good.
So, amongst the community and in business in general, we hear about businesses having to pivot and do things differently to be able to accommodate COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done at Drayton Villas for your residents?
Well, we because we weren't able to see the residents every day because normally they would come in and out of the community centre, one morning we sort of decided we'd get up and go around the whole village in the buggy and do a bit of a morning wave as it first started. And for the first couple of days we had a few people sort of come out, and then by the end of the week we had lots and lots of residents coming out to say good morning to us. So it sort of became this 9 a.m. daily wave that we started, and from there it sort of continued into doing all sorts of different days. So yeah, it really took off.
There you go. So do you have a royal wave that you...
Oh yes, of course. Be going along like this.
I would be. I'd, make it quite the...
Yeah.
Hello everybody, loyal citizens.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. So tell us about these days. What have you been doing?
Well, one morning we sort of come around one of the corners and a bunch of residents were singing. So the first thing we sort of started, when we realised that everyone was enjoying that, we started a Music Mondays. So that was one thing. Then we started doing dress-ups. So we had Wacky Wednesdays.
Oh, I love dress-ups.
Yeah,
that's one of my favourites.
At first we thought, I don't know how everyone would take to it, but everyone absolutely loved it. I think one of the first ones we did was a pyjama day, actually.
My favourite day of the year. We're doing it here this Friday. So Friday pyjama day.
So that was a hoot. I rocked up in my cat pyjamas and my big teddy bears.
Yep.
And then one of the maintenance boys had an ab shirt on, and the other girls had all their pyjamas on, and that really sort of took off. And that's when we sort of realised, the residents really are loving this, and I ended up making a whole calendar of it. So we had Music Mondays, the Wacky Wednesdays. So every Wednesday we had different things, whether it be fancy hats or pyjamas or characters or pirates and all these things. So I guess the most important thing to me was the mental health of all the residents, because they were locked in their houses. So just looking for ways to sort of encourage them and excite them. And as sort of time went on, we realised it was something they looked forward to every day.
Yep.
As you do, there's only certain things you have during the day, and 9 a.m. was that reason to get out of bed and come out and put something silly on, or even just to come out and have a chat. So it was really, really good. And from there, lots of things have happened. So.
And isn't it amazing that even in lockdown, you can find so many dress-up things in your house?
I've got a whole box now.
Well, even on the bin isolation page, I don't know if you've seen that on Facebook. Where people were, that the bin got out more than they did during ISO.
Yeah.
And some of the comments about, particularly from overseas people, they find it really bizarre that Australians have so many dress-up things. But I think it is something that in general, as a society, as a community, we really embrace.
I think everybody enjoys it really at the end of the day. So we created a whole calendar, and I also put things in there, sort of more mentality ones, I guess. So a few times we had ring your resident that's 3 numbers up from you, or ring your neighbour. We had bring your favourite recipe in and we'll make a cookbook. So we're going to make a Drayton Villas cookbook as well.
Oh wow, great.
Yeah, so we had sort of lots of things, and I was trying to think of ways to connect the whole community at the same time. So that's why I think it was Tuesdays, I can't remember, but each of those days we had like a call someone 10 numbers up from you, or call someone you've never spoken to in the village before, or things like that. And obviously not all the residents got involved, and but a lot of them did, and really embraced it. And but the last thing that's come from all of it was our Tutu Thursdays, which has been the biggest
Tutu Thursdays.
Yeah.
So that's every Thursday.
Yeah, and it's still going.
And tell me, Do the men engage tutu Thursday?
Yes. We've got one resident who came, I think it was nearly 2 weeks ago or last week, in a full tutu. So
How fun.
Yeah.
And it is very important for, whether you're in a community or in the broader community for us to really stay connected.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably one of the positives that has actually come out of COVID.
Oh, definitely.
2020's been pretty sucky for a whole lot of reasons. But certainly that, the community coming together, and particularly around our elderly and our vulnerable and the care army, those sorts of things, I think has been, one of the positives.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely brought everyone together a lot more, and I think made everyone realise, think outside the box a little bit more, and, you can allow more things into your life.
And to not take things for granted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, prior to sort of March, I think we all did, We didn't necessarily value the freedoms that we had. And quite frankly, there's probably a lot of people that are your residents that fought for those freedoms.
Yeah.
So nice to encourage it. So tell me, what did you guys do for Anzac Day?
For Anzac Day, what did we do for Anzac Day? Oh, that's right. So we did the driveway dawn service. So I went and bought a bunch of tea light candles, put them out for all the residents, and at 6 a.m. Two of the boys that work for us there, they put the music on the loudspeakers for the service, and all the residents came out and did their minute silence on their driveways and lit the candles. So we had little tea light candles all along on the letterboxes. And about probably 3 or 4 days beforehand, residents started dressing up their letterboxes and things as well. So we had some beautiful pieces. Some of the residents, their grandparents, etc., had been in the wars, or their fathers, or themselves, and they put all their different war memorials and things out. It was really lovely to walk around the village and see all of those. So
that would have been very moving, I would have thought.
It was really good. Yeah,
and again, that's probably something that, if it wasn't for the lockdown and COVID, it probably wouldn't have happened.
No.
They would have all gone off to their parades and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But as a community of Drayton Villas, you would have missed that opportunity.
Absolutely. And I think with the Anzac Day, just in general, I think it was amazing how all of Australia was doing that. I think it's something we should do every year. I think it's a really good one.
And that was my view as well. Yes, it's wonderful to be able to return to the full services and the parades, but just to have, within your community, I mean, particularly if you've got young kids, it's much easier to all go to the end of the driveway and still remember and honour and share without necessarily having to bundle them up, travel, find a car park, walk 3 miles to
and there's
find
a lot
a
of
spot,
people that aren't able to do that, like the elderly as well. So it's it's a really creative way. That's when you're talking about things that come out of COVID that are positive. Yeah, that's something that I think is a massive positive, that everyone's realised, oh look, there's another way we can do something here that includes more people and people that can't normally do those things. So
now tell me, how much has life returned to normal at the village?
Reasonably. So in the last 3 weeks we've sort of opened up the community centre. We've still got a lot of protocols in place with social distancing. We're cleaning like crazy every day. So pretty much back to normal. There's a couple of activities we still can't do, like cards and things like that are just impossible to do with social distancing. But morning teas is probably the biggest thing everyone's missing out on, because we all love a good morning tea.
Yeah, gotta have your cookies in there and your scones.
Correct. Obviously with the sharing of food and everything like that, we can't do that. So it's back to normal within reason, but I wouldn't say it's anywhere near normal, because still a lot of people are being very cautious.
And they are to some extent saying that maybe this is our new normal. And look, Rachael didn't like it when I said this off camera, but I am concerned that the second wave is probably going to hit Queensland.
Yes, just don't want to think about it. Happily, do we?
And I think whilst the government probably won't lock down, whole communities, I actually think those that are vulnerable, such as the people in your residence, are probably the ones that are going to have to take care of themselves and tighten.
And we're prepared for that. The whole time we've sort of had procedures in place. The checkpoint stopped a fair few weeks ago now with everyone checking in at the front gates.
But that's probably going to get reinstated.
Yeah, so we've got all those things in place. We've gone as far as having it in place if I was to get COVID, my staff were to get COVID, and we weren't able to go to work. We've got it all set up so that someone from Brisbane or another person could come in, and it's all there ready to go. So
And
we are prepared for that.
And that's been the good thing, I guess, about, you know, we kind of had a soft intro, I think, really, to COVID with the first wave, and it's allowed us all time to prepare and adapt.
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
great. But my point is going to be this. Obviously, you have had to be very creative to come up with a lot of things to look after your residents and keep them connected for the last 3 to 4 months. But just in case this does get extended, I'm just going to invite everyone to, in the comments below, to drop some ideas. So if you've got some other ideas about how communities in general, but Drayton Villas in this instance, can stay connected, some of the other activities that people might be able to do from their driveways, along with the royal wave of a morning, drop them below. I'm sure Rachael will appreciate some further input.
Definitely. Google comes in handy a lot, but can always do with more ideas.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for coming along and sharing, Rachael. That's been really great.
My pleasure.
Very positive.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on the couch. Bye.